Former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has spent decades at the heart of Scottish politics, and now in her new book, she's opening up about the personal as well as the political moments that shaped her.
Yeah, it's called Frankly, and you have a copy right there, and we have Nicola Sturgeon right here. Meanwhile, Scotland's current political landscape appears to be shifting. There is a new poll showing the rise of Reform Scotland ahead of the 2026 Holyrood elections. Nicola Sturgeon joins us now. Very good morning to you.
Good morning, lovely to see you, lovely to be here.
It's lovely to have you in the studio. Something caught everyone's attention a little bit earlier in the programme, which is that apparently you are rather upset about the spreading of the Scottish saltire, the Scottish flag, around Aberdeen. Now,
I was in Aberdeen at the weekend and I noticed some saltires on lampposts, which just took me a little bit by surprise.
Sorry, can I just check, you are still a Scottish nationalist?
Yeah.
OK, Scottish saltire, the iconic symbol of Scottish nationalism.
But I suspect it's not been put on lampposts to, spread that sort of positive view of Scotland. But do you know something? And this probably will come as a bit of a surprise to you guys and to people listening. For all that I am a Scottish independence supporter, I've never been that, into flags. I think we should get less worked up about flags. Flags don't have personalities of their own. They will portray a good image of a country if the country has a good image and vice versa. So I think maybe just if we all calm down a little bit about flags these days.
But you were the person who noticed there were a lot of flags. And
I was asked about it. I was asked about it when I was doing an interview.
But you didn't say, wonderful, display the flag if you want to, let's celebrate the flag.
Of course, everybody should display the flag if they want to. All I said...
You've just cast aspersions on the people who are raising those flags.
I haven't cast aspersions.
You said you wondered why they were raising them.
It was unusual. I have never, in all my time in politics and in all my... I'll whisper this for a minute, 55 years on this planet, I've not been aware of lots and lots of flags on lampposts before. So I simply commented in response to a question about it that it was something that took me a little bit by surprise. That is it.
What do you think, just on this issue, and try not to get too worked up about it. I don't mind if someone displays a saltire or not. But what do you think is behind the proliferation?
I think we're seeing it in the news. It is, I think, partly about, people making, and you can, take your view about whether this is well-based or not, making points about immigration and the levels of immigration. Look, I think people should be perfectly free to fly the flag. I think we should probably worry more these days about, the living standards in the country, the state of our public services, all these things that I had responsibility for when I was First Minister, and probably get worked up a little bit less about where and why flags are flying. So that's my view, but, people will take a different view. And now that I'm no longer First Minister and no longer in government, I can say things perhaps without worrying so much about it.
You can.
Ed looks as if he's about to lob my book at me there.
It's a heavy tome.
No, I think the key thing in marketing is for me to show your book on screen. That is why I'm doing my best for you. It's a very personal book. It's at times quite raw, and obviously in the very last stages of your political career, just after you stand down as First Minister, you're plunged into a terrible personal situation and the police investigation and all those issues. But when you write this kind of book, I think, especially once you're out of politics, you have the chance to tell people things about yourself that they didn't know before. What do you think you really reveal in here about Nicola Sturgeon, who she is, what she did, which we didn't know before?
I think most people watching me would be really surprised, people who don't already know me well from my family or friends, that I'm a really shy and quite introverted person. So for a lot of the time I was in public life, I had to make a real effort to overcome that. I've opened up about things that people will have been used to seeing on television, reading about me, watching about me, and I've tried to give my sense of what that felt like. And it's my story, it's in my words. Different people will have a different take on it. But, in Scotland, certainly, most people have an opinion on me, good, bad, indifferent. So this was my opportunity just to put my story, which intersected with this remarkable period in Scottish history, into my own words and tell it from my point of view. And I'm really happy with the reaction to it. Not everybody loves it, obviously, but it's been really good, and it's part of a transition for me from frontline politics into a different phase of life, one that I'm looking forward to. And, you know, people can read the book if they want to and hopefully learn a little bit more about me.
Do you feel as though, in the end, you failed?
No, I don't.
You had a personal project all of your life, all those years, and in the end, you didn't deliver. In fact, you lost.
I didn't deliver it, and, you know, I have regrets about that. I've got regrets about lots of things. I'm proud of many, many things I did as First Minister. You know, National Investment Bank, Scottish Child Payment. I think, you know, allowing Scotland to punch above its weight on the international stage. All of these things I'm proud of, but I think it's also important to be candid about the things I didn't achieve, the things I got wrong, the mistakes I made. I believe in Scottish independence. I don't think I'm giving you an exclusive there. As much about Scotland's place in the world, being outward-looking and having a great relationship with the other parts of the British Isles. And I didn't lead my country to that. So, yeah, of course, I feel that I would have loved to have done that, but I believe somebody else will do that in the not-too-distant future.
In a role like yours, you really have to roll with the punches. I mean, the level of criticism and justified scrutiny, but unjustified abuse that people get in politics is, at times, I'm sure, intolerable. One of the people who's subjected to an enormous amount of that is President Trump, of course, and he has a strong link with Scotland.
He does.
Unfortunately, he also doles it out. In July, he described you as a terrible First Minister.
I was upset that it came just too late to put that endorsement on the front cover of the book, because I would have... It's going on the paperback.
Of course, he's coming...
Can I let you into a little secret? I think he's a terrible president.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Does he or does he not have an impact on business in Scotland?
He's got businesses in Scotland,
OK, because the Scottish Labour leader said his affinity for Scotland is real, his family's investments are real and significant, created jobs, attracted tourism and demonstrated Scotland remains an attractive destination for global investment. Is he an asset or is he not an asset for
His
Scotland?
businesses employ people in Scotland. I think that's a good thing. He's got 2 golf courses in Scotland. But, you know, I don't think I'm telling people anything they don't already know, that politically, me and President Trump are miles apart, worlds apart, planets apart. And he's pretty candid in his views about me, and I'm pretty candid in my views about him. And I think that's...
And you don't have to be a diplomat anymore.
And I don't have to be... There'll always be a little bit of me that tries to be diplomatic. I have to be less of a diplomat these days.
OK, so let me ask you a question.
And that's the stuff of democracy. Yeah. We have these debates and we should be able to do it without hurling personal abuse.
He's coming to London next week, and the Liberal Democrat leader is going to boycott the ceremonial banquet for him to send a message over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. He said it was a difficult decision.
We should all be standing up and drawing attention to the crisis, the genocide that is happening in Gaza, and I don't think we're doing that enough right now, so we should all be doing that.
My question is, should the current First Minister, John Swinney, boycott?
I don't know if... I genuinely don't know if he's invited.
Assume he's invited. Assume he is. Assume he is.
No,
you would imagine he would
be. The current First Minister's on his way, or he's about to be on his way to America to try to get a better
you can answer
tariff
the question.
deal. You know, I think John Swinney, he met President Trump when he was in Scotland recently. I think he was right to do that, to argue Scotland's case. He is, as I understand it, on his way to the United States right now to argue the case for Scotch whisky and to get tariffs off of Scotch whisky. So, yeah, when you're First Minister, as I did, you often have to meet people you don't agree with. But when you do that, I think you should also stand up and make your case for things that are important. And there's few things in the world right now more horrifying and more important than what is unfolding in Gaza.
If you were First Minister still, and you were invited to the banquet, would you go?
I'd probably go, yeah, and I'd probably try and collar President Trump about a whole range of things. Whether I'd succeed in that, I don't know.
So you think that Ed Davey made the wrong decision by boycotting?
He's making a decision. I'm not going to say it's the wrong decision. It's his decision. He will defend it. He will stand up for it. But if his motivation is to draw attention to what's happening in Gaza, I don't think that's a bad motivation. Whether that is the outcome of it, we'll see. But I think we should all be doing more right now to try to raise what's happening in Gaza.
You make it clear in the book that you still think independence is on the agenda. In fact, you say we can imagine an independent Scotland, a united Ireland, an independent Wales within a British
I don't
federation.
think I say independent, but I think I say a more autonomous Wales. Yeah. Whether that will be, that's up to people in Wales.
The thing which would supercharge that happening would be the election of an English nationalist Prime Minister, Nigel Farage. in the end, reforms doing well in the next general election would supercharge independence in Scotland. Is that the right thing?
No, it's not. People have said to me all through my political career, you know, if this really bad thing happens, that will be good for independence, so you must want this really bad thing to happen. That's not the way my mind works. I really, really hope Nigel Farage does not become Prime Minister of this country, regardless of what the impact would be on Scottish independence, because I think the impact on ordinary people right across the UK would be terrible. If you're asking me right now, do I think if the election was today or tomorrow, would Nigel Farage be Prime Minister? Yeah, I think very likely he would. The good news is the election's not tomorrow, and I think it's incumbent on politicians of the progressive left to recognise the real problems people are living with right now and offer better solutions based on hope and inclusion and equality, and take on Nigel Farage and beat what he stands for. And that's what I hope will happen over the next few years.
Nicola Sturgeon, good to see you in the studio this morning. Thank you very much indeed.